Okay, right. Hopefully you can all see me. Thank you for joining and come to standing and mute. Oh, and mute, and mute, yes. So just let's start from going, as we so often do, from side to side, just warming up. You can go low with your arms, they can come high, they can just touch your shoulders, and that goes into yantra yoga, which is the medicine side of Tibetan yoga. And if you're wondering why you would do this, you're moving all your energies. So in this system, they are looking at 5 energies governing the body. And here you're just beginning to activate the entire body. And also, as you go from side to side, your perspective is slightly altered because you can't focus on anything. And so all your thoughts that you might have had just temporarily get moved or disturbed. And so you could call it a kind of active mindfulness exercise. You can lift your heels just to be relaxed. And then just very gently begin to slow your movement down and then come to a very gentle standstill, come to the center. Make any adjustments with your feet, but have them hip width apart. Lift and roll your shoulders. This opens one of the energy gateways up into the head. It opens your Udana energy coming from the throat upwards. And then inhaling, bringing your hands together at the heart center, reversing your palms as you lift up. Press your feet into the ground. Breathing out, go to one side, your lateral stretch. Breathing in, come to the center. And breathing out, go to the other side. Breathing in, come back to the center. And then, if your neck is good, look up to your hands so that you're coming to a very slight back bend. If that's not good for your neck, look straight ahead. In any case, bring your head back to the center. And this time, gently rotate, turning as little or as much as you'd like to one side. Come to the center. And then very gently turn to the other side. And come to the center. If your hands have been up for too long, then you can drop them to your waist. So, or otherwise keep them up as you come with your feet definitely hip width apart. Just very, very gently bend your knees and your bottom moves away from you into a chair pose. If this is too much, you can put your hands on your waist. And then inhaling, press your feet down as you come up to standing. And have then your arms out at shoulder height. Again, if this is too much for your arms, you can always have your hands on your waist. Turning your head to look beyond the third finger of one hand. Bring your head back to the center and turn to look beyond the third finger of the other hand. And then come back with your head to the center. And this time lower your arms, you have them up a little bit. Lift and roll your shoulders. And once more lift and roll your shoulders. And just turn your head from one side to the center and to the other side. And come to the center. Slightly lower your chin to your chest, allowing the back of the neck to stretch. And then bring your chin up to the center. And then come to slide your hands down your legs to probably mid-shin. And when you're there, comfortable, press your hands into your shins as you breathe in and have a sense of lengthening your tailbone all the way up to the top of your head. Breathe out, bend your knees, bend your elbows as you come forward. Inhaling, press your hands into your shins as you once more lengthen all the way along your spine. Stay here as you breathe out. And next time you breathe in, soften your knees, press your feet into the ground, and you can use your fingers to gently trace your path upwards as you're standing. And then just once more inhale and just release and relax, rolling your shoulders back. This time, come to clasp your hands behind your back, aim the knuckles to the ground and open your shoulders. This is a back bend, but it's also very uplifting as you create space in your diaphragm and space for your organs in your abdominal area. You can stay like this, or you can very gently turn to the left side, bring your hands back to center, and then turn towards your right side and bring your hands back to the center. And either stay like this, or if this is okay for you, to bend your knees and to bring your hands up above your head. Only if that's okay for you, if not, just stay where you are. And then inhaling, press your feet down as you roll up, standing again. Separate your hands, and just let your hands shake them out. And then just lift and roll your shoulders once more. And then this next exercise, you think, why might I bother? But if you hold your hands behind your back, you can hold your hands in reverse prayer, which can be tricky, but actually the little fingers touching one another opens your hands up in an area you don't always open, and it connects into various meridians, plus opens under your arms. But if that's too much, then hold your wrists or hold your elbows. Either way, you get a benefit. And then just turn slightly once more to your left. Come back to the center, and then very gently turn to the right and come back to the center. And once more, this is optional. You can bend and then press your feet into the ground to come up to standing. Release your hands, lift and roll your shoulders. And then inhaling, raise your hands up, either looking ahead, or if your neck allows, look up to your thumbs. Your thumbs are pointing backwards and your little fingers are forward. So you're stretching your hands out. And then breathing out, lower your hands back down to your sides. And just once more lift and roll your shoulders. And then turning your head, imagine moving your head in a horizontal figure of 8. So it doesn't matter which way you go, you turn your head one way, breathing out as you come to the lower part of your 8, breathing in as you come up, breathing out as you lower and go round. And it doesn't matter how much you move your head, it can be a tiny 8 or a large 8. So again, you're freeing the energy, you're freeing your creative energy into the mind, the head. Either carry on doing this, or you can try and reverse your 8. But don't worry too much if that goes horribly wrong, as it has with me. Just reverse your 8 completely. And then come to the center. Just circle your hands up at the wrists as high as you want to. Open your hands like rays of sunshine, and then circle your hands down again. And then circle your wrists going upwards. Stretch your fingers out. Feel the stretch along your body, and then circle your hands down again. And then one last time, circle your wrists up and circle them down. So now, raise one hand and circle the wrists of both hands one way, And then circle your wrists the other way. And lower that arm. And then raise the other arm. Circle your wrists in one direction. And circle your wrists in the other direction. And lower your arm. And lift and roll your shoulders. So we're going to start. It's a particularly, again, another Tibetan practice. It's moving through the entire body. So it's moving through energy centers along the spine. So we're going to bring the hands to the heart and come, however that suits us, gently down to the ground. And we're going to be coming to hugging our knees into our chest. So this is starting at the base chakra, the root chakra, and you're hugging your knees into your chest. So this pose in yoga is a variation of a pose called apanasana, and apana is one of the 5 energies, but in this case it's a downward or the eliminative energy. So our entire lower abdominal area, digestive system, relies on apana. So just hugging your knees into your chest and starting by rocking gently from side to side. It's a freestyle movement and you can move in whichever way suits you. If you hug your knees further into your chest, the rocking will be higher up along your back. And if you let your knees travel away from you a little bit, your rocking will be slightly lower on the lower back and towards the sacral area. And now come to the center and hug your knees into your chest. And still holding your knees, let your knees move away from you to arm's length. Hugging your knees into your chest. And then let your arms and your knees move away from you. Hugging in once more, knees to the chest. And once more, let your knees travel away from you. And again, as you wake up the circulation of your lower spine, and just let your arms travel away from you. And then just let your knees part in a very subtle V and circle both knees in one direction, bringing your knees away from you, parting them and then bringing them back together. You're beginning to move the hips, the top of the legs in the hip socket. So this is a gentle hip loosener. And then reverse your circle and go in the other direction. And now, still holding your left knee, place your right foot on the ground. So your right knee is bent, your right foot is on the ground. Drop your hands behind your left thigh. And very gently extend your left foot up towards the ceiling and extend your left heel. You'll feel a stretch along the back of the leg. And then point your toes and extend your heel. If you want a stronger stretch, you extend your right leg along the ground. But a softer movement is keeping the knee bent. Extend your left heel and point your right toes. And then begin to circle your left ankle in one direction. You're breathing in as the toes go up towards the ceiling and breathing out as your toes come towards the bottom of your circle. So you're beginning to coordinate your movement with your breath. You can keep a slight bend in your knee if you need to. And then very gently reverse your circle, turning your ankle in the other direction. And then come to the center and just stretch your toes as much as you can without giving yourself cramp And just then relax and release the toes. And once more, stretch your toes out and then just release and relax. Optionally, if you would like to engage your abdominal muscles, you can walk or slide your hands up the back of the leg. And optionally, you can either lift your head up or take one hand behind your head and neck to support it to lift up slightly. This is optional. And then releasing and relaxing your head back down to the ground. Bend your left knee in towards the chest. And then place your left ankle in over your right leg and open your left knee out to the side. So this becomes a hip opener at the inner hip. And at the inner hip, you have part of your lymph glands at your lower hip level. So you can just very, very gently move your legs from side to side, just once more, massaging across your lower back as you're opening your knee out to the left. And experiment here by extending your left heel and seeing if that activates muscles. And if you don't feel it's any benefit, then just relax your heel. And if you want to take this a stage further, you can lift off your right foot and clasp your hands under your right thigh. And again, experiment with extending your left heel. I don't think extending your right heel does an awful lot, but you can try it if you want to. Classically, you might extend your right heel, but it doesn't really, well, everyone's individual. And the point of this is opening something called the piriformis muscle on the outside of the hip. This is very much implicated in lower back issues. It's a very strong muscle joining the leg to the hip. And then release your right foot down to the ground. Take your hand underneath your left thigh to support your left foot as you take it off, bringing both feet to the ground. Just place your hands on your abdomen, your elbows out slightly, and just then rock your knees in the same direction from side to side. You can lift your hips off the ground. And you can move your head if you want to in the opposite direction from your knees, so that you're involving the bottom and the top of your spine. Then bring your knees back to center, make any movement or adjustment with your feet that you feel is appropriate. And then keeping your left foot on the ground, just pick up your right knee and just hold your right knee into your chest. Just circling your right knee maybe a little bit in one direction, and maybe circling your right knee in the other direction. And then dropping your hands behind your right thigh to support your right leg. Gently extend your right heel up towards the ceiling. You can always keep bending your knee. And extend your right heel and feel the stretch all the way along the back of your leg. And then point your toes up towards the ceiling and extend your heel. You're boosting your circulation by moving your feet. Toes up and then extending your heel. Toes up and extending your heel. And then very gently begin to circle your ankle, your right ankle, in one direction. Breathing in as the toes come to the top of your circle, and breathing out as the toes trace towards the bottom of your circle. And notice where your ankle jerks or misses part of the circle, or it doesn't. And then reverse your circle in the other direction. And then stretch your toes out release and relax. The lung meridian sits as you stretch your toes out at the base of the toes, where the toes join the foot. So in the Chinese world, stretching your toes out is the one great immune booster you can do to help and boost your circulation. And then just release. And then if you want to, optionally, you can slide your hands up the backs of your leg, your right leg. You can stay here as the leg comes towards you. You can lift your head slightly, looking towards that right leg. And if that's heavy on your neck, take a hand and support the back of your head and neck to lift up slightly. And then breathing out, release your head gently back to the ground. And then bend your right knee in towards your chest. And turn your right knee out towards the right as you rest your right ankle to your left leg. Hands rest on your abdomen, or they can rest palms down on the ground as you very gently rock from side to side. Rocking and massaging across your lower back or your upper sacral area. This is an alternative version of pigeon pose, which opens the hips. And again, once more into that piriformis muscle on the outside of your leg, joining the leg with the hips. It gets so tight. And then optionally, you can lift your left foot off the ground and take your hands through your diamond to support you underneath your left thigh. The more you lift up your left knee towards you, the more you'll feel the stretch in your right piriformis muscle. That can be quite agonizing, actually. So don't go to agony, but just come off agony to a stretch. And then again, explore extending your heel, if that makes any difference. I find that extending my right heel does make a difference, but I don't bother with my left. But again, we're all different.
I like the left.
You like the left?
It's a nice stretch at the back of your leg.
Okay, so extend your left, do whatever you want to. The option is there. And then very gently lower your leg to the ground, your left foot to the ground. Take your hands to your right leg, underneath your right leg to support the right leg as you lift off your right foot. And then support again your leg as you place your right foot on the ground. Your feet are hip width apart or now a little bit wider and your knees are bent. Your hands can either rest on your abdomen, or if you've got space, your hands can come out like a T. Either option, just very, very gently, once more, let your knees drift in the same direction towards one side. The hip of the other side will lift. Come back to the center and very gently let both knees rock to the other side, lifting the other hip. This rocking movement from side to side starts to come into the somatic movement. And in particular, this looks at anti-aging. It explores the relationship of the limbs to the torso. In particular, as we get older, through lack of use or whatever happens, the muscles can contract and pull in, and that then starts to create that, combined with osteoporosis in some cases, of course, but that pulling of the muscles starts to contract the body forward, and you get that older person's stoop. So this is a great way to rejuvenate the joints as at the shoulder level and at the hip level. So if you want to involve the shoulder level, open your arms out to a T. Still keep your knees moving from side to side. Your head can go in the opposite direction. As your knees go to one side, your head moves away. Come back to the center. Knees go in the opposite direction, your head turns away. So you can establish that pattern. And then optionally, you can open up one palm as your knees move. I'm not going to tell you which palm, just naturally you open up one palm. As you come back to the center, the palm goes downwards and then your knees move over, head shape turns and the other palm opens up. you'll feel that you're rotating the arms and shoulders, but the ground is supporting you as you're going from side to side. So there's very little danger of any kind of stress or strain, and it allows you to open the arm up and out into the shoulder socket, perhaps a little bit more than you would do if you were standing. So you can do this at home anytime, just totally moving the limbs as they join the torso. And then finally come back with your knees in the center, bring your arms in, and once more hug your knees into your chest, rocking however feels good for you, either from side to side or up and down. And then just place your feet on the ground. Roll over towards the right side, but whichever side opens you. Right side because you're rolling away from your heart. And take your time to adjust and come up to a seated position. No hurry. So that movement that we've done on the ground has worked through the base chakra, and then the pigeon pose where we did this, going from side to side, was the second chakra, just moving slightly up inside the tailbone. So we now come to the third chakra, and if you want to come into a classic yogic Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, the further out the feet are, the easier it is on your hips. The more the feet come towards you, the more you'll stretch your inner groin. And you've got a choice here. You can either hold in front of your big toes. You can slide your hands and your thumbs inside the soles of your feet and just massage around the soles of your feet. Here, almost opening your feet like a book. Your thumbs, as they come almost to the center of your foot, parallel to the base of your big toe as part of your solar plexus area, and pressing in here will kind of activate your whole solar plexus system. It's quite good for almost a rejuvenation process. And then as you run your thumbs down to the base of the heels, that's almost your large intestine. So just massaging anywhere there. And then you can slide your hands to your ankles, which will allow you to sit up a little bit more. And you can even slide your hands up to your shins, which allows you to sit up even more. If you're wherever you are, you can just bounce your knees, just opening. This is, in traditional terms, supposed to encourage the movement of energy along the spine, moving upwards. That's very much in the Kundalini tradition of yoga. But either way, just open your inner groin like this is again focusing on the lower lymph system. So it's boosting your immune system in the same way that we've opened our arms at the beginning of our stretch, and that boosts the upper immune or lymph system. So just very, very gently come to slightly rocking from side to side. And then come to crossing your legs in a comfortable position. If that's not good for you, have your legs out. What we're going to do is a very simple twist at the third chakra, Manipura chakra. So either legs out, lengthening your spine and turning, or as Nikki's doing, she's got her legs crossed and she's doing the same with the legs crossed. And this particular turn is a rotation at the abdominal level. Coming back to the center, you might want to do a token slightly slide forward. You can compensate this pose in between the sides, or you can compensate at the end, or both. Slide your hands up, and then gently turn to the other side. Your head, if you choose to turn your head, is the last thing to turn. You breathe in, pressing your hand down and lengthening your spine. Breathe out and turn very gently, and remembering the head is the last thing to turn. Your focus is at the abdominal navel level, behind the navel, lengthening your spine and breathing out, turning. Come back when you're ready. Press your hands either onto the ground beside you or onto your thighs, and just slide forward for a couple of breaths to neutralize that rotation of the spine. And note that the head coming forward lengthens the back of the neck. It encourages energy and blood flow to the head, and also a forward bend is calming to the nervous system. And also, as the chin comes towards the chest, you're activating the vagus nerve, which is very much implicated in this case, anti-inflammation. Taking an in and an out breath. And then sliding your hands up. Come to bend your knees. Come to roll onto your knees. And then we're going to come to tapping the toes and take your time to come up to a standing position, rolling up vertebra by vertebra. You can keep your knees soft. You can use your hands to trace your ascent up to support you, and then when you're up top, lift and roll your shoulders and come towards the center, the top of your mat, for a very gentle therapy salute to the spine, which works on the heart level. So we're moving from the navel to behind the heart. So this is a therapy version, and I'll try and give you options in this. So inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart center. Press your feet into the ground, and your feet can be hip width apart or wider. Be comfortable. Inhale, raise your hands up, either look ahead or back, if that's good for your neck, and you can stretch your fingers out. Breathing out, lower your arms and bend your knees as you roll down to the ground, placing your hands either side of your feet, bending your knees as much as you need to. Step or slide your right foot back, right knee on the ground. Slide or step your left knee back, so you're in cat. Take a moment to adjust your position. You can widen your knees. Stretch and space your hands, and your thumb and second finger press into the mat to secure your pose. As you breathe in, dip your back and look up. If that's not great for your neck, look along the mat. And breathing out, round your back, chin comes to the chest in your cat position. Inhaling, dipping your back. Once more. You only go as far as dipping your back as is good for you, looking up or along the mat. And then breathing out, rounding, chin comes to the chest. You can either do that again, or if you'd like to join me by tucking your toes under, slightly engaging your abdominal muscles. So in other words, don't let it all hang out, just slightly engage in your abdomen to your spine. And then gently lift one leg and then the other leg to a very soft dog. Have a sense of lengthening your back by pushing your bottom away from you. Feel you can adjust your hands. Get the length first and then begin to straighten your legs. You can move your feet at any point. I'm going to make mine wider. And now I'm going to walk the dog by bending one knee and then straightening and bending the other knee. And I can gently circle my hips. It's a very much free fall downward dog movement. At any time, if this is too much for you, come back to your knees in cat. And then very gently, we're all going to now bend both knees, come back to cat, which is all onto all fours. And then I'm going to take my hands to the left to give space for my right hip as I slide my right leg up, my right foot up, and my hands go either side of my right foot. Just slightly come forward, you can stretch your hip. Normally you don't stretch your knee beyond 90 degrees, but here you've got your hands supporting you, so you can, if you want to, go beyond your 90 degrees. But now come back to 90 degrees. Make any adjustments for your feet as you tap your back, left toes underneath. Again, remember you're stretching out your lung meridian as you're doing this. Slightly engage your abdomen, lift your left knee, and then step your left foot towards your right or slide it.
Place both hands on your shins, inhaling. Have a sense of lengthening from your tailbone all the way to the top of your head. Breathe out, bend your knees, elbows out to the side. Breathe in, press your hands on your shins and lengthen along your spine. Stay here as you breathe out, and then inhaling, slightly soften your knees, press your feet into the ground, and roll up, but sliding your hands up to support you. When you've got up to standing, breathing in, raise your hands, either looking up or looking straight ahead. You can open your fingers, thumbs come towards you, little fingers away from you, and then breathing out, lower your hands by your side. And then lift and roll your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale, hands up, looking up ahead. Hello, whoever that lovely canine joiner is. And then breathing out, lower your hands, bend your knees, roll all the way down. Hands on the ground. Step or slide your left foot back or left knee on the ground. Your toes can be tucked or untucked. Right leg slides back. And then your cat. Inhaling, dipping your back, looking up, you're warming your spine up. Breathing out around your back, chin comes to chest. Inhaling, dipping your back, looking up or along the mat. Feel really stretch the lower abdominal area. Breathing out, lower, rounding, chin comes to chest. Either do that again, or join me by tucking your toes, engaging your abdomen slightly, lifting your knees and pushing back into a downward dog. Feel you can adjust your feet. I'm going to bring my feet slightly forward. And then bend your knees, slightly straighten them. You feel again that you're lengthening from all the way along your tailbone. Your bottom's going away from you. The weight of your bottom is away from your wrists. Walk the dog a couple of times, stretching out the backs of the legs. And then just very, very gently bend both knees, come back once more to kneeling into a cat position. Your hands now go to the right. That gives space for your left side, step up the left foot, and your hands now go either side of your left foot. Abdomen or tummy slightly engaging in, tucking your back toes, lifting up your back right knee and stepping your right knee and foot to your left foot. Hands go on the shins, supporting you. As you press your hands to your shins, breathe in and lengthen along your spine, chin tucks in. Breathing out, bend your elbows, bend your knees. Breathing in, press your hands onto your shins, lengthen your spine. Stay here as you breathe out. And inhaling, bend your knees, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra, standing. And breathing out, and then inhaling, looking up. If that's good, breathing out. We'll take the next round slightly faster, not too much, but. So inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale, hands up, your back bend. Breathing out, roll down, hands to the ground. Right foot back, right knee on the ground. Left foot back, left knee on the ground. Either tuck your toes or flatten on the ground. Inhale, dipping your back, cat. Breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Dipping your back, cat. And for those who want to join me, as you round, tuck your toes underneath. Tummy or abdominal muscles in, support you, lift up your knees, coming into downward dog. Weight away from your wrists. Walk dog a couple of times. Feel that you can make any adjustments to your feet. They can be wider apart. And bending your knees is good for your back as well. And then engage your abdomen as you bend your knees back down to the ground into cat. Move your hands to the left. Space for your right foot comes up, and hands go either side of your right foot, tucking your back left toes, tummy in, lift your back leg. Step your left foot to your right foot, and then press your hands into your shins as you inhale, lengthening along the spine. Breathing out, bending in, chin to chest, elbows out. Inhale, press your hands into your shins, you lengthen along the spine, and stay here as you breathe out. Inhaling, bending your knees, pressing your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra.
And then inhaling, looking up, stretching your fingers and breathing out, lowering your hands down by your side. Just lifting all your shoulders, opening that gateway. And once more, last time, inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up, look up, stretch up. Breathing out, roll down, bend your knees to do that.
Step or slide your left foot back, left knee over the ground. Slide or step your right foot back. Toes bent or flat. Inhale, dipping your back into cat. Breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Inhale, dipping your back into cat. And as you round, tucking your toes, you can bring your hands towards you to give you more control as you come up into your downward dog. Sense of stretching your back and then straightening your legs. You can stretch your feet wider apart, walk the dog. Downward dog is also could be considered an inversion. So you're looking at balancing your hormones here. And then very gently bend both knees, come back down to the ground into cat. Hands go to the right, left foot comes up, hands either side of the left foot. Tuck your back right toes, abdomen into the spine to engage it slightly. Lift up your right knee. Step or slide your right foot to your left foot, and then your hands go on your shin to support you. As you breathe in, lengthening along from the tailbone to the top of the head. Breathing out, bending your knees, bending your elbows, coming in. Inhale, straighten your legs, hands on the shins, lengthen your tailbone. Stay here as you breathe out. And inhaling, just soften your knees as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Standing, inhaling, lifting your arms, stretching one last time. And then breathing out, lower your hands to the side, lift and roll your shoulders. And then just go from side to side. So we've worked through the heart center. And before we leave the heart center, we're going to well, Tibetans work on the heart center from the front, but they also like another option. So before we move to the throat, we're going to do one more gentle movement on the heart. So bring your hands to the center. Come however you are able to down back to the mat. But this time come to your knees and then come to lying forwards on your mat, and we're going to come into Sphinx, which is a very gentle and very soft. Hands out in front of you, your elbows are in, and you can look in Sphinx down at the mat, or you can look up in a classic Sphinx. Feel that you can adjust your bottom, you can wiggle your bottom from side to side. You can tuck one toe under, lift the leg by extending the heel backwards, and then releasing the leg back down to the ground and letting your heel drop out to the side as you wobble from side to side, and then do the same with the other toe, tucking your toes under, extending your heel backwards, releasing the leg down, letting your heel drop out and just wobble your bottom. And a Sphinx pose is like a back bend. It's a very modified version of the cobra, but generally not so much softer on the lower back. And then elbows out to the side, make a pillow with your hands or fists. Just rest your forehead on your hands, back to the hands. Have your legs slightly wider. Bend your bend at the knees. Your soles of your feet are up towards the ceiling. And then just rock very gently from side to side. So it becomes like a windscreen wiper action. It's a very, very soft modified bone. And it's quite nice for your sacral area. It's just slightly different. Feel free to move your legs as well, maybe coming slightly in, slightly wider, just your version of what suits you. And also in the Tibetan tradition, at certain points in different yoga traditions, you have a slight rest to let the body recuperate from the movement that it's made. So this particular point allows the body to rest and almost absorb the movement that we've done up to now. So winding down, we've reached our feet at the heart, and now a very gentle wind down. And then just very gently let your feet travel back down to the ground, taking an in and an out breath. You can turn your head to the side if you don't like looking down. Taking an in and an out breath. And then sliding your hand out, coming to roll to one side. You can either come up in the classic, pressing your hands down, elbows in and coming up. That's quite strong to come up to kneeling. But if you don't want to do that, just roll to one side, bend your knees in and coming up to sitting on your bottom. Come to sitting with your feet out. We're going to come to the throat with the Shuddhi chakra, but this is again a very gentle and very modified movement that we're going to be doing. So we're going to be coming to lie on our backs with our knees bent and feet hip width apart. Just press your feet down into the ground and lift your bottom just to make any adjustments that you want to make. Your chin your back of your neck is long, so your chin's not sticking up. And this is working at the throat level. So hands now are actually palms down on the ground beside you. And pressing your feet into the ground, just very gently lift your bottom that needs to be an inch, couple of inches. Bend your elbows and just roll your elbows up above your head. Chin tucks in. And then breathing out, lower your arms, vertebra by vertebra to the ground, lowering your bottom. Hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet go to the ceiling in a V. Extend your heels. Palms of the hands together. And you can either stay like this, or if you want an extra abdominal tone, lift your head up to look at your palms and lower your head. If that also was tough on your neck, you can drop one hand to support your head and neck. Bend your knees, hugging into the chest, and then just let your feet slide once more back down to the ground. Palms down. Press your feet into the ground, lift your bottom vertebra by vertebra, lift your hands above you. Your elbows can still remain bent or stretch out. And then breathing out, you start your breath, you lower your hands and your bottom back down to the ground. And ideally, you're back on the ground and finish your breath. Then hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet to the ceiling in a slight V, palms of the hands together. Stay like this. If you extend your heels, you will feel the stretch on the inside of your leg, which activates, among other things, the psoas muscle. Palms of the hands together. You can stay, or you can lift your head, or you can take a hand behind you and support you lifting up. And then lower your head down, hug your knees into your chest. And we'll do that one more time, choosing which version suits you. Palms down. Press your feet into the ground as you lift your bottom up, vertebra by vertebra. Roll your hands up, elbows can be bent, and then you can straighten them out. Chin comes into the chest. And then breathing out one more time, lowering your arms, lowering your back, spine down onto the ground. Hug your knees into your chest, soles of the feet to the ceiling, arms and hands together. Stay here or lift up or take support under the head. Lower your head back down. Hug your knees into your chest. And then just once more rock gently from side to side. So in this series, the next chakra is going to the third eye and the top of the head. And classically, you do that by coming to child's pose. But here, I'm just going to invite you to stay where you are. Take one hand and just very, very gently trace the fingers of one hand across your forehead, off of the temple, starting again. So we're paying a nod to the third eye, the Ajna chakra, center of intuition and center of knowledge. And you've got your, from a yogic perspective, you're connecting to your pineal and pituitary glands in different parts of your head, but they are part of your metabolic control. And then just very finishing, instead of doing a hare or a rabbit where you're like a child, your head's on the ground, this time stay where you are, but just take your hands and just cradle your head in your hands over the fontanelles. You're connecting to your crown chakra, your higher center of consciousness. And just be aware as you hold your head, all those little nodules and dents in your head, they're all acupressure points. If you follow the center of your skull from the forehead backwards, you'll find all kinds of little big dents in your forehead, in your head. You don't often see them because your hair's covering it. But massaging into those little dents, each one has a major role to play. Be very soothing. And then very gently release your hands. And you'll come for a moment or two to relax on the mat now. Take whatever or whichever position suits you to relax on the mat. You can have your knees bent. You can have your knees touching each other in constructive rest, particularly if you've got a sore back, or you can just relax and lie on the mat for the next couple of moments. As I invite you through a journey once more along the chakras. So bringing your attention to the base of your spine and breathing in and out here, almost slightly beyond the base of your spine. This is your Muladhara chakra, your base chakra connected to the element of earth. And the colour here would be the colour red in this system. Connects, of course, to our reproductive system, but even though that might not be relevant or uppermost in our thoughts at the moment, the energetic pathways still very much exist. So breathing in and out through your base chakra, imagining the colour red. And then we move up slightly again to the inside of the spine, and it's just between the base of the tailbone and the navel, so it's somewhere in between there. And we move to this sacral chakra, it's the element of water in this system, and connects to our kidneys and adrenals sitting on top of those, so part of our stress systems. And the element of water, as a reminder and balance, is represents joy, but out of balance can represent fear. And the colour here would be orange. So joyful orange. And then moving a little bit further behind the navel, as you're breathing in and out, this represents
not surprisingly, your digestive system, your digestive enzymes. And the colour here is yellow, the element is fire. And fire, if you think of tapas in yoga, it's the heat, the digestive fire that needs to be strong to handle our digestive systems. And then moving up a little bit further, behind the heart. The heart represents our physical side, and it's the same in the animal kingdom, but also starts to represent our intuitive mind side. So here it's the element of air and the sense of touch, and our hands almost connect to our heart if you trace the hand back to the torso. So healing hands, and the colour would be either pink or green in the system. And you've got the thymus gland just slightly above the heart area. I'm not great on my anatomy, but vaguely. And then bringing your attention up a little bit high, you're in your throat area. And the throat area, the Shuddhi chakra, is connected to the colour of blue and connects to our thyroid and parathyroid. So connecting to some of our metabolic control systems. And links very much to the respiratory area and our heart. So very much the chakra is about speaking your truth. It connects into the Udana energy, the upward energy, which incidentally goes a bit AWOL when people have diseases of the upper head, as the yogic system describes it. So all the Alzheimer's and the dementias are an introduction of the Udana energy. So lifting and rolling your shoulders is a very simple way to promote energy flow up beyond that gateway under the head. And then moving your attention a little bit further up to your third eye, the dent in your forehead. It connects to, it's the Ajna center, and it connects to as of the throat, and then one above, to the element of ether. The colour would be indigo and connects to our centre of intuition and the centre of knowledge. Also connects to the pineal and the pituitary glands. Again, and the other part, major part of our metabolic control. We sometimes see colours behind the third eye. It's viewed as a pineal gland, but again, it's an imprecise science, if you could even call it that, but interesting. And then let your thoughts settle right at the top of your head, the crown, the Saraswara chakra, which connects into our higher consciousness, or however you want to view that. And the crown head almost is the master control of our entire body. And there are different colours associated with this. White would be one, or a golden light, or a silver light. So breathing in and taking your attention to the base of your nostrils and thinking of the air coming in to a point in the centre of your head like a mist. And then as you breathe out, mist that air all the way down your body, the inside and out, and let that mist leave through the soles of your feet, taking with it anything you don't want today. Any pain, any niggles, any worries, just let them float away. And then once more, bringing your attention to the base of your nostrils. And this time, just let your imagination pick any colour, a colour that you identify with today. And breathing in that coloured air through the nostrils to a point in the centre of your head. And as you breathe out, let that mist float all the way down the body, inside and out, cleansing as it goes, and just floating out through the bottom of your feet back to Mother Earth. And then you can either stay here and just relax in the sunshine, or if you want to join me by coming up to a seated position. But by all means, stay just relaxing and tuning out if you'd like to. We'll finish the class by imagining at the forehead a little circle at the Ajna
third eye center. And just breathing in to your indigo color to your head through the third eye, breathing out your colored indigo air from the third eye. Breathing in through the Ajna center, your indigo, and breathing out once more. And then once more, last time, breathing in through the Ajna third eye. Breathing out. Just lower your chin to your chest and take a bow for yourself. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Bring your hands to your forehead. And bring them back once more to the heart center. Your chin lowers slightly to your chest. And thank you, and namaste as we finish the class, but do stay where you are if you'd like to.